All right. What can you see? All right.
Yeah.
10 seconds. All right. Just a moment. Cool. All good. All right. Thank you very much. Should I turn off the live stream now?
Are you winning?
Hey?
Are you winning?
Maybe.
I was going to bring my laptop, but no, it should be good.
We'll be all right. Sorry.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I need to give Barry some time, so I'll tell some anecdotes. And we have to the left of me, sorry, the right of me, the left of me, Kat is telling me to stand on this square. So there is a square out front that you'll need to stand on. It's really disconcerting for me because when I talk, I like to move around a lot and get really animated and kind of interact with the crowd. And it's going to be really hard for me. So every once in a while, I'm going to have to come back here and stand still. But it is for you, so we can see all of our people online that are tuning in. So there are obviously all the participants and close associates that are going to be here. But there's also all the mentors and other associated people that have been involved in the program that are also listening in. So you are being live streamed and it is being recorded. So when you do get to the time of Q&A, you don't need to frantically write down any of the feedback that you're given. You can go back and look at it at the end. It's very hard to take a lot of information in when you've got adrenaline pumping through your veins. So today is the 4th of November. It is election day in the US, but it also is election day in Newry. We are electing 2 winners. We've got 16 participants that have gone through this program, and will all graduate tonight. 7 of those have opted to voluntarily pitch tonight, which is going to be fantastic. I'm really excited and looking forward to this. I am a US citizen, so on one hand, US election is very depressing. On the other hand, today, me getting up to this was a little bit better. So there are going to be 7 of you that are going through tonight. There are only going to be 2 winners picked, unlike the US. The thing I want to say with that is there are only 3 people here tonight that are picking you and you are those 2. What my experience tells me is you need to go out and choose yourself, regardless if you get chosen of the top 2 out of the top 7. Choose yourself regardless of whatever subjective opinion. They do have fantastic opinions, and I will introduce who they are very shortly, but I want you all, when the training wheels come off after tonight, we won't be here holding your hand, you will be out there alone. So it's going to be a lot more difficult, a lot more difficult without us helping you. So choose yourself and back yourself more than anything tonight. I would like, having said that, all of you that have participated in this program that are here tonight to give yourselves a round of applause. It is a very, very quick program. We usually do this over a 3-month period. It is an 8-week period, but if you have a look at the schedule, we only really do things for about 5 weeks and give you a whole bunch of stuff and like, oh, you do it. And then the last 2 weeks are really just getting ready for you to get up here and tell your story and be compelling and convincing to all your peers. And then tonight, week 8 is the last night, so we don't really get to do much now. It's a really, really quick program. And I just want to say, to give context to all the people that haven't gone through that journey already, is pre-COVID when bands come to Adelaide, they usually get to Adelaide and they're like, Adelaide, you are the best crowd we've ever performed in. And then they go to Perth and then they say the same thing, Perth, you are the best crowd we've ever performed in front of. And they do that the whole way around, so it loses a lot of its punch. I do, with that disclaimer, want to say, with the 5 weeks that you've been given, what I have seen, I'm not going to say you are the best bunch, but you are definitely up there, competing with all of the other programs as well. There's always more time for someone to top that. But you have done so much work, and of the practice pictures and the pictures I've seen and the progress you have made, I've been blown away the amount of progress and how polished they really are. So that's why I've been excited, given the circumstances of what's happening in the US. So with that framing for our judges, I will introduce them. Then I will hand over to one of those judges, Verity, and I'll explain who she is. And then once that's done, I'll give you a bit of an agenda of what's going to happen tonight, and then we'll just go straight into all of the pictures. So I'm going to start with this lovely lady here, Ali, and I'm losing my tab. Ali Urim. So she is pretty much a local from around here. She is a founder of a business called Kickstart, K-I-I. And you can ask her in the break right at the very end what the significance of that is. She is helping founders just like you get to where they need to go. So once this training rules are off, Ali is the type of person that's really going to help excel you. If you look back at her history, she's got a whole bunch of experience within training and facilitation, so she really knows this area quite well. On the other side of the table, this gentleman, Rolf Binder, he is he's not the founder, but he is the CEO and the owner of a wine by the same name. Sorry? Bank owns a lot of things for a lot of people. But he has got some exciting things that he's found a buyer for the business, 7th of September. About 6 weeks ago, he's looking to move on to some of the other stuff that he's involved in, which he is Regional Development Australia rep, and he'd like to, when he moves his way into retirement, follow that up a little bit more. So for all of you who are locals, this is a man that you should get to know, so he can help you. And then the lady who is going to sit in the middle of the table, her name is Verity Kingsmill. She is the sit-in and the lead for New Venture Institute at Flinders University. She has taken that role on very recently with much gusto. And if you look at her history as well, she has helped a lot of uni graduates. So again, people that are in virtually the same position as you now move to where they need to go. So a lot of these people have a lot of experience, particularly within the area of looking at business, but also helping work people in the educational side of things. So what I would like us to do is put our hands together to welcome all three judges, but then I will hand over to Verity to take away with
It is fantastic to welcome those who are in the room here and also those people online, which I'm looking here to those online. On behalf of New Venture Institute of Flinders University, I'd like to welcome you, and particularly I'd like to acknowledge the land on which we meet with the Ngara people, and respect and honour the spiritual connection to the land on which we meet here. I know there are people joining in from various places around the state and possibly interstate as well that are watching from other lands, but we meet here on the Ngara people's land. And I want to pay respect to their elders and leaders, past, present and emerging. It has been an absolute joy to experience so many people's journey with New Venture Institute, particularly through the Venture Dawn program since my 5 months being with New Venture Institute and Flinders University. I've been with the university for just over 15 years and was involved with the New Venture Institute when it very first established 6.5 years ago. So it's fantastic to be at the other end and now engaged in this next iteration and the future vision of New Venture Institute of Flinders. It has been really great, particularly for me, to see what's happening in this region. Barossa, York and Mid-North. From what I have heard, what I have seen, what I am watching, and what I'm looking forward to experiencing tonight, this is an amazing community. And I really commend every single one of you who has stepped out of your comfort zone to be part of this program. For those that have done that confidently and those still who are feeling anxious about the process, this is part of the journey. There will be times along the way that will still feel uncomfortable, and that is okay. It might feel awkward at times, but there is one of the things that I can guarantee you is you have joined an amazing community in this region, but also particularly in this state. And wherever we can facilitate and help make those connections happen for you, that's what we're here to do. Particularly having Dee here as the Entrepreneurial Facilitator Service for the region. She has an amazing network, and I'd just like to absolutely take opportunity to thank her and recognise her for her commitment to your area. I can adamantly profess that she loves this area and she is dedicated to every single one of you and everyone that comes past her door. She wants to see you succeed, she wants to stand alongside you to help you succeed, and she has amazing knowledge and commitment to your journey. So a particular thank you to Dee. And just reiterating again, you are now walking in with boldness to a great, for all my science friends, I apologise, ecosystem of entrepreneurs here in the state. And Dee will stand beside you in this region, and as a network with Flinders University and the New Venture Institute, we will stand with you going forward as well. I am really looking forward to tonight. For those that are taking on that challenge of pitching to us tonight, we are really excited to hear what it is that you have been working on and you are passionate about. To be honest, and don't take this personally, we don't actually want to hear you, we want to hear your product, we want to hear about your business, we want to hear about your idea. That's what we're here for. Here to hear. Here. if I can be encouraging in any way to say, it is okay to feel nervous, but let that drive and remind yourself why you're committed to doing what you're doing. What it is that got you involved in the first place, that's what we want to see tonight. For those online, we welcome your comments. For those that are online that are part of this program as well, well done for your amazing energy and involvement right through to this point, and particularly as this is the start of the next stage. Well, you don't want to hear me talk anymore. I think I've rabbited on enough. I won't tell you what's just been announced for this election, but we don't need to worry, it won't be real till tomorrow or in a week's time. But that was a perfect high and then just like bring the room down. So Oren, I'm going to pass back to you, but on behalf of the University and New Venture Institute, welcome to the session.
Thank you, well, very.
At this stage, when someone does the welcome to country, I always kind of cringe it. One time that I did it, and I was really, really tired, and I was actually reading it off the script because I haven't memorised it. And instead of saying Ghana, I said Karuna. And I didn't catch myself. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I thought, you idiot, don't say anything. And I just kept going and going, and then I did it again. So when someone else does it on my behalf, I always have a sigh of relief and a bit of a flashback to a very traumatic time that I said it and embarrassed myself in front of a crowd that was many multiples larger than this. So thank you, Verity. Onto the agenda and some logistics. So we're going to go straight through tonight. We've got 7 people that are presenting with 5 minutes on the clock and then 5-minute Q&A from our judging panel, so 10 minutes. Multiply that by 7, we have 70 minutes. So that will go for just over 1 hour from now. What I would love to ask you, if you do need to go to the toilet, could you just wait until the Q&A section? So there's no disturbance, nothing that's going to distract anyone that's up here. Until the Q&A happens, it's really got to go. The toilets, which is my segue, is up on the very back left-hand corner. You have to go up the first flight of stairs, out the door you came in, and it is in the old 1960s, 70s wooden doors with the arches. There are some drinks in the back if you need some water, and if we do, in our play case, an emergency, I feel like an air host, Dee, she's not here, I assume we just go down the stairs, not the elevator, and we meet out in the car park. What will happen after our pitches in just over an hour's time, our judging panel will go out and deliberate, and they'll come back and give their final 2 picks. In that time, you are more than welcome to start drinking some wine or water, depending on what your mood is. And they'll come back, they'll give their deliberations, and then we'll have some open networking until about 9 o'clock, until some of these people can get home and drive back to Adelaide. Are there any questions before we kick things off? You will be amazing, you'll be fantastic. From everything that I have seen so far, you are confident, you are credible, and you will be very compelling today. I'm going to kick it off and introduce our very first speaker, Mr. Anthony Bibas. Without further ado, put your hands together and welcome him.
Hi everyone, I'm Anthony Bibas, founder and head brewer at Silverbar Brewery in Mount Barker, Adelaide Hills. We're a family-owned business and everyone gets involved. We're passionate about the process and about everything involved with it. And this passion has captivated me for the past 18 years as I've refined my recipes, my processes, and my equipment. I love the fact that the majority of our ingredients are local, including some Barossa Valley malt from here up the road in Greenock. For me, it all started with a homebrew kit for my 21st birthday. Did this for a while, but got bored pretty quickly. No challenge, it's too easy, and to be honest, I wasn't that thrilled with the results either. I really wanted to emulate those beers I loved from Europe and around the world. And the passion grew. For years I was on a quest to just try as many beers as I could, visit as many breweries as I could, and just try new things. All our holidays, all around the world. Wherever we went, if there was a brewery, we were there, trying new beers. Whether it was across Europe, right across Australia, New Zealand. If we were nearby a brewery, we were there trying new beers. And then when I got home, I wanted to try and make it myself. But along the way, I was disappointed as well. And I'll touch on that a little bit later. So I started researching the process. I thought, it can't be that hard to make beer from scratch. So after a few months, mucking around, playing around on the stove in the kitchen, I built my first brewery. To be honest, the first batch was pretty ordinary, but after a few tweaks to the process, the system, I was making some pretty good beers pretty quick. About 7 years later, we moved to Mount Barker. Bigger block, bigger shed, so room for a bigger brewery, a bigger hop yard. So the hobby got a bit more serious. About 5 years later, some upgrades, and decided to go commercial. Thought, why not? My mates kept telling me, so I thought, let's do it. So I did some upgrades, but I still use the same breweries that I built myself 5 years earlier to make 200 litre batches. And it is a real passion. I still get a buzz from how simple beer is. Malt, water, hops and yeast. Yet you change one of these ingredients a little bit or a bit of a change in the process and the results can be huge, just so different. And that's what really excites me about beer. The possibilities are endless, the combinations you can make. And that's what got me into beer, trying new things, tasting new things. It keeps me going today. So we've been going a couple of years and we've built a pretty good customer base. Bottle shops, cafes, restaurants, and that continues to grow even as we speak. Along the way, through word of mouth, people enjoying our product, we've had some new opportunities that I didn't make. Contract brewing for a new local beer label, recently another tap room, and also whiskey wash, which I've never really made for a local gin distillery. So we've achieved quite a lot for a small operation in our back shed in Mount Barker, part-time. But we want to do more, we want to offer more, we want to be able to share our product with more people and share our experience. So we want to expand. So what does our dream look like? You might say, yeah, in the breweries, in the microbreweries, done that, not that exciting. Before I mentioned about me being disappointed over the years, it's probably happened to you too. You've gone to a microbrewery, you've walked in. Where's the brewery? There's no brewery on site. In fact, they don't even make it themselves. It gets contract brewed somewhere else. It's a bit of a letdown. So we make all our beer on site and we'll continue to do that as much as we can. And we're not just going to be another commercial shed brewery. We want to do something different. We want a place your kids can enjoy too, so you can actually enjoy yourself and not have them drive you nuts while you're trying to have a break and enjoy the beers. So we're not just going to be another microbrewery. I want to share my passion, take our guests on our journey. So you can come to our microbrewery, either enjoy the views of the brewery in our tap room, or take into beautiful country views outside where you watch the kids play and you just relax and enjoy yourself. And we will offer a truly unique experience. We're also passionate about sustainability. All our malt and hops either goes to stock feed or is composted on site. We use rainwater for our beers, and our next site will have a significant battery and solar set up to reduce our reliance on the grid. So why is this viable and how are we going to get there? Well, Mount Barker's growing. It's the biggest growing regional area in SA. Current population 37,000. They're predicting to be more than 56,000 by 2036. There's been a big increase in age group between 25 and 45 in the last few years, and a lot of those are young families. So really good opportunities. There's also great opportunities in and around Mount Barker itself. There's not many breweries in the area, particularly south of the town. And a bit like wineries, they all tend to feed off each other. So where you've got a group together, people tend to want to come to the area and visit those breweries. And who doesn't want to mix it up a bit when you're doing a wine tour in that office anyway? So here's a quick overview of our roadmap. So right now we're working through our high-level plan, researching properties, looking at funding options. Then we'll look into some pre-design development, working through development approval. So when we find our block of land to do this expansion, we're basically ready to go to council, get all the approvals, and away we go. And then we'll move into the detailed design, acquire the property, start the next process. Eventually there will come a point where we'll sell our current residence, where we currently live and run the brewery, to fund the next phase, which will be a residence on the property as well. And eventually we'll move in and finishing touches and live the dream basically. So here's a quick overview of where we're at. So you can see down the end there, we're heading in the right direction as far as our revenue. This is based on current sales and also of our product and also our contract brewing and some arrangements that are sitting in place at the moment and projecting out. And in 2023, which is asterisk, that's when we actually open a new space, hopefully, where we can offer more, be open more, and be able to sell more products and have more people come through the door. So we've got some really exciting times ahead. We can't wait to share that with you. We really look forward to welcoming you to our new brewery, tap room and go. And we'll see you soon. Cheers. In the meantime, you can follow us, get in touch via our website, email address and our socials. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Anthony. That was good. Quiet confidence in what you're doing. That's what I really like about it. One thing I was told years ago, which is a word, and this is for everybody else who going to write all the scripts, don't use the word passion. Okay? Tell me why you're going to be the best for it. Because everybody's got passion. Sure. If I can be slightly naughty in what I say, my ex-mother-in-law was a passionate cook, which was really bad. So, to exude confidence, which you have, by telling us why you're going to be the best in the region and whatever, I think just takes the place. Yeah. And the other thing is, for me, the way my brain works is a bit more on financials. Like projected sales, volume, and then it's a bit funny when your whole projections, if you're going to buy a property, there's no real dip.
There isn't.
Just a question too, and I've been there with our winery. Contractors are nice, easy way to make a bit of money, but think about the resources you can put into that space yourself and expand the business further.
Anthony, I will do a pitch for you as well. We do have this talk about the in the room, as right here, for people to try. And it's fantastic, Anthony, seeing your commitment right from the start. You have loved beer, and I love the fact that you have set it as a bit of a mission for yourself to do and be the best you can when you actually take on the seriousness of brewing. And as Rob said, passion's there, absolutely. Can see that. What I would love to see as well is it's just kind of actually exactly that. Why you want to be the best, why it is it that you actually wanted to do better, that you wanted to recreate some of those experiences you've had and actually do them better. I thought your story was fantastic. Do you grow your own hops?
I do.
As well?
Some of them, yes.
Okay. I think that is a big difference for your brewery and the environment you're setting up, for the experience and actually for the people who love beer to actually see the hops growing while they're tracing the beer as well. I was like, I got attracted by one of the tips, like, yeah, that's what hop plants look like. So it's just the differentiators. Yes, you're committed to beer, absolutely committed to the craft. I love that you're thinking about the experience. Talk about those differentiators a little bit more as well. How far are you down the track with making some of those connections in the region as well for this next stage?
Pretty early days. Really only, we've been thinking about it and putting some ideas together with sort of what I call the master plan of what the next phase will look like, and kind of size property we need and that kind of thing. We started talking to banks about what sort of borrowing power we have just from a personal side of view and that kind of thing. So we're kind of early on the journey, but I started talking to architects and company to just sort of help us think more about detail and what else we need to do to be able to start making those steps, because obviously council approval and all those sort of things, and what are we going to build? You kind of got to figure it out now, otherwise you can't get approval to actually do it later. So yeah, we're early days, but bench norms really helped me to. I said to someone earlier, it's helped me kind of do a lot of stuff that I need to do, and it sort of started around the edges, but this has helped me focus a lot more on some of that. So yeah, hopefully in the next sort of 6 months we'll really get it down a lot more detail on exactly what we're going to build, and then hopefully where as well, but we'll see, yeah.
That's pretty close. That final question is, I wanted to know, doing this program, how has it changed your thinking?
It's given me a lot more focus on, I guess, what is our point of difference and that kind of thing, value proposition, that kind of thing. Which sort of had ideas, but then going through it, talking to people during the weeks and that kind of thing, getting feedback on what we're going to do. People love it, so I think that's been good to sort of reinforce what I thought was a good idea. People do like the idea. But yeah, it's really just helped me focus on some of the things that I probably just put aside, and then we'll get to that. Let's focus on this fun stuff. So that's what some of that detail might be a little bit boring, but when you get to it, it's actually exciting. So.
Thank you. All right, so I'll make a couple of comments, but there are also questions as well, so thank you for that. Just off the back of some other comments, I really think the experience, the end-to-end piece is really important. Certainly looking at how, and I know this is a really overused buzzword, so this is my disclaimer, but collaboration and what the role of that really will be moving forward to be able to expand upon it. I'd love some evidence around what made you decide that families were actually going to be the best fit for you, and were there other markets that you've considered as well to be able to diversify and minimise risk. I think that's really important. And the other thing too that I think would be good to consider and just expanding upon is that sustainability is not just about environmental factors. I mean, that's obviously going to be one part of it, but I'd be really interested to know how you'll sustain this from a human capital perspective. So from your team, I mean, if you're the man and you get sick or something happens, what does that then mean, for the business? So really looking at sustainability from a process and people capability, I think would be really interesting and really worthwhile. So I think you've got a great product and I really enjoyed it, and I just think it's more around some of the evidence around that.
Oh, thanks. And I guess some things I had in there I forgot to say.
That's okay, and I know it's not easy either, right?
Yeah, no, it's all good. And there was other things that I probably wanted to cover more, but getting all this out in 5 minutes.
I know that sounds
went way over anyway. So yeah, but yeah, you have raised some things that I probably didn't have in there. So yeah, thank you.
Just for next time too.
Yeah, but I have thought about it. I didn't quite make it.
That's okay. That's all right. But appreciate your time as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Brilliant.
Put your hands together for First cab off the rank is always really, really difficult, so well done. And thank you to our judging panel for keeping their questions and comments really succinct. They're good, they're straight to the heart. This is what we need to do. We have our timekeeper over here, that's fine. We get on to 5 and 5. I would like to introduce our next speaker. She's going to talk about things most of us all really, really adore. Without further ado, and with that hook and that bait, I would like you to put your hands together for Elaine Kennedy. Welcome over to the stage.
Why is it that we have this relationship with dogs? What do we want out of them? Fun, companionship? Just being with them is really special. For me, my dogs, they're gorgeous. Some of them passed away, but yeah. We loved the fact that we could take them with us on cub camps. They could teach children, they could teach them about dog behaviour. We had children that were really scared of dogs, that learned from our well-behaved dogs. That dogs can be okay, and they also learned other things. Look at them. But what if your dog's not like that? What if you've got that dog that's the rat bag, that chews the furniture, that chases dogs, that barks during the night and keeps you awake all night? What are you going to do? What can we do to help them? Now, my journey actually into doing this dog training has started with Spot. This one's Snort. Now, we adopted them from the Animal Welfare League shelter, Spot and Sophie. And Sophie was wonderful. She was perfect right from the beginning. They were only 5 months old, but they were amazing dogs. But Spotty, he would pull on lead so much. And I thought I knew what to do. I'd been training dogs for years at the local dog club. And he used to check Jane. We reprimanded them for doing the wrong behaviour, and she's right. So I tried it on him. But what happened? He got more and more worried. He didn't like me anymore. He kept away from me. And it didn't stop the pulling. He pulled harder. Now, to get away, right, that opposition reflex. So I didn't like doing this. I didn't want to hurt my dog. I didn't want to keep going. So I did some research. And now, in the days of, we had the early days of Google and things like that, I could do some research online. I could learn things. And wow, positive training was amazing. It started me on that journey. I'm Elaine Kennedy. And I've started Cheery Dog Training. And my aim is to help people be successful, to prevent dogs from going into shelters, from being those dogs that people surrender because of problems. I've been a member of a dog club. I've done obedience training with my dogs. But since Spot, I've volunteered at the Animal Welfare League. And I've learned so much from all those dogs that I fostered, all those dogs that came in and out of the shelter. And I've done some training through the Delta Society and through the Karen Pryor Academy. So now I'm a professional dog trainer. Now, look at all these animals. Can we train them? Yes, we're animals too. Whatever we were rewarded for, we're going to repeat. Happens with them too. Doesn't matter if it's a dog or with us, with animals. Now, better communication is what we're after. I can help with that. And Donald's one of my case studies. All right, he came from the shelter, he'd been surrendered. Poor little guy, he was only 5 months. He'd been to puppy preschool, he'd done all the right, the owners had done all the right things that they felt were right, but he was too much for them. He jumped, he nipped, he barked. As he stayed in the shelter longer, all this frustration and worry and loneliness got worse. And he would jump up and nip the staff. He would jump and nip them under here, nip their legs, because he didn't want them leaving his pen. He wanted them to stay. So in the end, it got unsafe for the staff to go in. They had to have 2 people. So I took him home. Poor Alan. Another one. And Donald. Oh, yeah, okay, so how do I get the video going? Sorry.
That's right.
So this video was taken on the day I took him home, the day after. He'd settled down, he'd been playing with my dogs, he'd had time to just be himself. So you can see how focused that dog is, the joy in learning. Over a period of time, we did have him for a while, he learned really good skills and he was adopted to a family with a young son who had anxiety disorder. Happy ever after. What I provide is training that's tailored to you. It's training that's for you, your issues, your problems, where you live, your disabilities, your dog's disabilities. We're not going to teach you things that aren't relevant to you. What's the use of learning how to do a sit-stay and a recall if your dog can't do the recall without a sit-stay? So we look at what normal dog behaviour is. A lot of my clients, they come in with behaviours and go, well, actually, all dogs do that. I know with my own dog, this is my own, he's really cute, he's really naughty, he's a baby. But we can look at them, learn to understand, and change our behaviour and our environment to help them to learn. Cooperative, calm, fun companions. So I offer private lessons, And I can come to you, you can come to me, we can go to other places to help the dogs learn. This way, the dogs are learning where they're comfortable, where they don't have that nervousness and stage fright, like I've got right now. And it depends whether do you want a comfortable dog or do you want to learn on dog sports. There's different levels of things. So they're provided in what you want. Group classes, I've found topic classes are wonderful. We can run topic classes on the topics that people want at the moment, right now. I'm starting to get an increase in people with separation anxiety with their dogs because of them working from home and now having to go back to work after the COVID. There's a lot of dog reactivity going around. They've always been there, but more issues because of the puppies adopted this time and not able to walk. So we're reactive rover. All these ones are just topic ones with small groups. We can maintain focus. My clients think I'm awesome, and I think they're awesome because they follow through, they do so much for their dogs, they really care. They'll listen, they'll get feedback from me, they'll give me feedback, and we come out, not necessarily with that magic dog that we wanted, but the dog that's yours, it's the dog in front of you. So, I've got a presence on Facebook, I've got some packs that will go into selected vets, groomers and pet shops. My website has now got links so that people can book directly with me, so that we don't have to be doing this back and forth. Are you okay on Thursday? No, I'm not. I'll have that Friday. Yes, but I've already booked one, so they can book straight away. And I've got professional listings through the Pet Professional Guild, Karen Pryor Academy and RSPCA in South Australia. So this is our local area. I can help service this area, and I've got other people that I work with as well that help in different areas where I'm not a specialist. We work together. But is this the end? Do I just stop there? Or is there another step? During COVID, I actually started to do some research and play with Zoom and all that sort of stuff. So could more stuff be available if I make up a training package that involves online learning that people can do elsewhere and then get video feedback? So I've got cherry dog training going in this local area. I'd really like to start some specialised training and work it so that I can help other people who are fostering dogs that have just got a new dog or a puppy. Either they've got problems now or they want to prevent problems in the future. So, as you can see, my dogs are really good with computers, so they're going to help me. So we're going to video me being trained by them, and we can use that in combination with written text and also video feedback, which could be by Facebook or something like that. I'm not really quite sure of what's around with the platforms, but that's my aim, that's my next research. So let's all be cheerful. Let's have our dogs happy. Thank you. Thanks.
Oh, you want me to kick it off? Okay. Thank you for that. I know it's only 5 minutes that you've got, so it's a pretty ambitious time frame. I'm going to make a couple of points, and there are also questions as well too. The first point I would make is, particularly when time's tight, is to really get to the points of difference. I know you set the scene for us, but to really get to the points of difference probably earlier, because you don't have half an hour to necessarily set the scene. I think you're doing some really interesting stuff that does differentiate you. And I think, for me personally, I love my dog. I had to stay overnight at the vet. I really love that dog. I would like to know really what it is about your approach. And you said it verbally. I think it would be great to have a visual representation maybe around traditional models of teaching and training dogs and what this is and how that differs. The other thing I'd say is a case study or an example would be awesome. So to take me on the journey of what the dog was like and some of the pain points that client was experiencing, and what you did to get there and how you actually delivered that. I also think too, it would be really great to know who you're for and who you're not for. And I think that's something, because not every business, no business is for everyone, and not everyone is for us. And I know that with my own company, and I think everyone here will know it's about knowing the fit. But what I would say is I feel this is something quite exciting for you, is the community and how you can build those connections. And you've already started about that and how you can make your work accessible. So I think in terms of the presentation, I think it's got the really strong bones, and I think, like I said, people love their dogs, and to foster that community through some of the ways that you're doing is going to be positive. So yeah, that differentiation, getting there a little bit quicker and showing how the model differs and providing some evidence to back that up. But good luck, and I think you've certainly got something valuable.
Thanks, Emma. I really like asking a question. Okay? It stimulates everybody's minds quite well. You were very nervous, well done, you got over it. But what I also enjoyed is that you take the nervousness away, you definitely know you've got it. That's really important to me. And I could see you relaxing as you came through it, you ad-libbed, and so on. Probably a bit off script, but great knowledge. To me, a few things is don't stick to one pricing model. Vary the pricing models, but then vary your offering as well. And I can see this becoming endless opportunities, because it's not just the training. What else? It's the pampering. It's the doggy parties.
Yeah, the dogs are becoming more fur babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly the change from when we haven't
Well, look
was tied up overnight, let off during the day.
Look how humans socialise.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I'd like to see, to me, is one, interaction with children and dogs, and two, the training of children and dogs. I think that would probably bring you a lot more customers as well. It's going to be involved as well. But no, overall, it was a very interesting story, well done. And you thought a lot through, which is also very important.
Yeah, congratulations, well done, and big sigh, you've done exceptionally well to stand up in front of us and pitch this idea. Just something that I can see you have dedicated a lot of time to, for all the right reasons. Actually, better equipping people to be great with their dogs, but also dogs being great with people, and building that trust, which is fantastic. What I really liked was that video, actually showing some of the things in action that is definitely different to what we often see with training. I would like to see a little bit more of that, not kind of, giving all the tips away,
Yeah.
but to see just that little bit slight difference.
I had a few more in my original one, but we had trouble with the video and the other two times.
Okay. No, that's better. That's much better.
Yeah.
And I imagine maybe if there's an online environment that you just doing some snippets that people can see, because the customer involvement as well is really valuable. I like that we're thinking about the online component. I think there's an opportunity for a bit of a dual component as well, an in-person assessment and then either individual group, or there's an online, so there's a variety of packages available. How has this process helped you now? How has being involved in Venture Dog, how has this helped articulate or change or challenge you in your model?
Very quick answer.
Sure.
Yeah, it's made me pinpoint where I'm heading. Yeah. And actually got that one.
Yeah, right.
Which,
Perfect.
yes.
The one last thing I'm going to say is I think there's a story in here online where dogs are currently going training. You can actually have some sort of like step stars, rising stars, and your training moves. So people can actually see and aspire their dogs to be on those different levels as well.
Well done, Elaine. Thank you very much. I'll ask some questions. Our next presentation is on a topic that many of us should think much more about, and in probably a lot more detail than we probably have. I would like to introduce our next presenter, Susanna Philby. Please make
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for attending this event. I'd like to start with a quote by Einstein. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it right now. Therefore, I'd like to introduce you to my retirement planning business, bringing your future into the present so that you can start to plan for it now. Market research shows that women would like to have a realistic, achievable, actionable planning vision to live and love in the best years of their life. Retirement in some form happens to all of us, whether we call it that or something else. My name is Susanna Philby, and my purpose is helping others to help themselves, to support them to create, motivate and accomplish what they envision their retirement freedom years to look like. I have worked and volunteered for many years in a wide variety of sectors. I believe this life experience and knowledge stands me in good stead to support others through my business. My skills, core values and character traits leads me to be a person who serves others. Previously, I was an NDIS coordinator, supporting clients to access services, and I realised that I was good at organising and supporting people to enrich their life and lifestyles. Someone said to me that I would make a good life direction coach. I decided to niche down to being a retirement coach, as I am on a semi-retirement journey myself. I also have the personal need of wanting a mobile business, and one that keeps me interested and interested. My solution is for women 45 years and plus who want to have a visual indicator of what lifestyle they could be living commensurate with their financial requirements. If this is you, I can help you to create that vision and make that plan. I have developed a course that asks the insightful questions which are answered in the worksheets and can be supported by accountability calls if so desired. I'm there to support you through the course, but I declare that I'm not a lawyer or accountant and so do not offer or give advice. Creating a holistic retirement plan was made to help with the challenges faced in retirement. To know what you want to do, where you want to go and who you want to journey with. To give you more choice and control. And to break it down, get it done, and give you peace of mind, knowing that you are as ready as you can be. Unlike some financial and retirement planners who mainly focus on the finances of retirement, my service delivers a holistic approach covering 10 life and lifestyle themes. I'd like to share this testimonial from Jenny in part. This course has changed how I'm planning for my retirement. So let me support you to bring your future into the present and to plan for it right now. Take the time to schedule a chat with me to see how we can work together. You can find me on Facebook and the internet through Susanna Philby, Life Direction Planner. If you are interested in me and my business, I would love to talk to you about the collaborations around affiliate products, technical support, being a guest interviewer or blogger, or any other opportunity that you may think is relevant. I will now show you my estimated marketing stats and income expenses. My marketing stats. There are 2.4 million women in my target market in Australia. 5% are estimated to have the need equaling 135,000 women. 5% of those are estimated to be able to be reached by my sales channels, and 1% of those are expected to purchase. My income and expenses estimates. In 2021, I aim to sell 65 courses with a profit of $7,945. In 2022, I aim to sell 100 courses with an increase in price for a profit of $18,660. I also would like to thank my mentors, Steve Duncan and Evelyn O'Loughlin for their support, and thank you very much.
Any thoughts or questions?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, sorry, I was saying,
Oh, sorry. I didn't get this last time. Wowzers. Tough crowd. That's all good. All right. Thank you for that. How do you feel? Fine now? That's okay. No, enjoy it. And I said, no, it's not easy. So a couple of things that, as I said, it's like I said, it's an art form to be able to communicate with confidence. So the first thing is to project your voice a bit more, and to just feel, even talk to yourself in your mind. Don't be crazy. Get familiar and comfortable with your own voice. I think that's really important. One thing I would just say, and I'm mindful of time, is that it'd be great to have some more evidence and research around why you've chosen that market. Like, why then? Like, where's the data to suggest that's really going to be the best place to put your energy? I would love you to provide some really impactful, even quite confronting at times, the reality of women going into retirement and the pain points that we're facing. Yeah, and we know that, women of a certain age are at risk of homelessness, probably more than they ever have been, and that's quite compelling. So I'd love to know what the pain points are and what the solutions are. So what are the risks and the pain points, the threats to your market? How can you solve it? The other thing too that I'll just say finally is I'd love to know how people can access you. I think some clarity around that and how you've actually arrived at the costing of your product and what that actually looks like. Are those figures even viable? So it'd be great to understand the rationale behind it, what I would get, and whether or not, those figures are actually probably going to be viable too. But I think we need people like you, and so, they're comments to go away and just reflect on as well. So it's great to meet you, and thank you for presenting, Susanna.
And vulnerability, yes, is one of the things that I got out of this course as well, and I'm still struggling with that a little bit as well. I may have been out on my 5%, maybe, but it would be interesting to have, more expert opinion on that sort of thing.
Yeah. Good to meet you. Thank you.
I'll be two quick things. How has involvement in the program helped you? The vulnerability is one. Has it? What are some things
It's given me confidence that there is a need out there. My mentors were very good and supported me, and so that was more feedback that there is a need out there. There is a lot of women in denial, and I learned that wasn't my market. So, so that's where the percentages are just my guesses. So maybe someone can help me down the line of better marketing stats, percentages on actually what my target market is. And the connections, hearing everyone's stories, I've just loved it. And so it's been wonderful. Thank you for the government, whoever provided the money. Very nice.
And Susanna, just my last thing is, what I love, even though you may have felt uncomfortable, is I felt a great sense of trust with you.
Wow. Okay.
So I think that is something to be confident in, that you have automatically, I feel like I can trust you.
Like no one trust, I know.
So thank you. I'm like, maybe I really do need to think about this. That's right, dog first.
Get them
With the
trained,
beer,
get themselves sorted.
and I'll you say don't mind
No, I agree with Vera. You come across with credibility, really strong credibility. So it's just the way you spoke. Why stop at women?
Because the women, the business groups I'm in are women.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah.
And the business groups online.
No, it's for that because men have got money in their pocket as well.
Yes, and it came down to niching. Like I had to niche, and this wasn't coming from this workshop. It was just you have to niche. Otherwise, you're marketing to everybody. So the men and the women that cut that down by half, niched even more. But I could probably do another man.
Well, start off and just some things which I'm interested in is the end result. What is the goal? Should explain. And ongoing support, because people are always going to lapse back. A couple of other things that intrigue me is maybe explain what holistic is. Most of us know that it's just your logo intrigues me. And I think that could be woven into a story,
Yes.
just explaining.
The shelf for my beach thing, that I've got to see things, because everybody wants to go to the sea and, you know, retire there, and I'm from Barossa and everyone's going there, and the butterflies for the freedom, and that's a shell, a clam shell, and it's flapping because it's a butterfly.
And that could be your selling point.
Did anybody see it in the slides?
Yeah, like the logo.
Yeah, in the slides up the top?
No.
Oh, so, yeah, you missed them. So, there's one. So they're dotted slides, because I wondered whether that was a good thing or not, because if people were following that, they weren't listening to me, and then I thought, oh, well, it shows I'm a bit quirky.
That's fine. Can you
What
go
you
back
just said there, Susanna, what you have just said then, I would have loved to have seen that come through even more. I'm a bit quirky. I love that.
I do too.
I love that. Don't try and be anything else, because that's the building and trust of the next.
Can you go back to your first slide?
I got you.
Second one. Next
Oh,
one.
this is one.
There we go. Again, wording is simple. If I read my purpose and ambition, it would show that you're trying to sell me something. You've got something I need.
And that comes from another course, you see. So this passion thing comes from another course, you know, my purpose and my passion, because I've done that course. So, and did you, I've noticed I didn't read it out because I crossed it out.
But let's put ambition there.
Okay, thank you.
But thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Well done.
Thank you.
You did well. Thanks for the Easter egg hunt
Ah.
on the screen. It's funny, I'm obviously an adult, my younger sister's an adult, so I'm sure they wouldn't want us to tell this story, but anyway, at Easter time we go away, and adult parents, of course, give us an Easter egg hunt. So we run around like idiots as adult children, finding Easter eggs, and there's quite a few fights, but in the end, we put them all in the middle and divide them up. So we still get a ton of enjoyment out of Easter egg hunts. So this is one I failed at, and our family one is miserable. I just get nothing and wait until the end until they're distributed. Our next presentation
Your
is...
sisters know that you do that.
Yeah, I know, how weird is that? I'm quirky as well.
You'll have a request for me.
Our next presentation is combining two different industries in a very unique way. And without further ado, and giving you that as a little taster, I would like to introduce Ms. Tara Kay. Please come to the stage.
A young girl discovered art as a tool for expression. She found so much joy in it that she stuck letterboxes to rooms in her house so she could share her creativity with her family. As she got older and she studied visual arts and design, she kind of annoyed her lecturers because she didn't like planning the design process towards her artwork. She really embraced being in the moment, focused on the surprises that came from being spontaneous, and noticed the significance of inner creativity coming out into the outside world. Years later, while working in aged care, she noticed that activities that were given to residents in the facilities were often lacking meaning and were used to pass the time rather than to embrace it. So she decided to start designing art programs for people living with dementia. One day, she noticed people who couldn't remember drinking a cup of tea moments earlier recognised their own artwork on the wall a week later. art is so much more than just a pretty picture. It can be used to slow down, be in the moment, and nurture the inner you. Hi, I'm Tara Kate. I'm the heart, mind, body and soul behind Tara Kate Arts. I'm a transpersonal art therapist, visual artist and facilitator. I am currently a tier member with ANZA Carter, which is the governing body in arts therapy for Australia and New Zealand and Asia. I've actually been really lucky to be offered a scholarship to undertake my Masters in Therapeutic Arts Practice next year, so that will enable me to become the first professional level registered art therapist in the Barossa. So what is art therapy? It's a place where the art therapist supports you to be creative and express yourself and feel safe while doing that. It's a place where you don't need to worry about having art skills or being analysed or compared to other people's art. It's also a place where you can work through challenges and develop personal insight. So I believe that being creative is a natural ability that most of us do have. But I think that we put it on the back burner or think we're not good enough. But when we think about it, creativity is really a part of who we are every day. When we cook, when we do gardening, when we write a shopping list, or sing and dance in the kitchen. Who does that? With 20% of Australians experiencing mental health challenges at some point, I think that there is a growing need for connection, and I think that that's where creativity can come in. So for the last 5 years, I have been working with a variety of different people who live with disability, people with dementia, young people, people who are just interested in self-development, and people experiencing mental health issues. So what now? Well, I've got several collaborative ideas that I could rub it on for ages about, but today I'm just going to try and share one where, unlike other experiences that include consuming and arting, I am wanting to re-infuse creativity in people's lives, but offering an opportunity to enhance well-being for people in the workplace and also people in the community. So in a busy world where we might not even really slow down and notice what we eat and drink, I've decided to combine local produce, creativity and the senses. It's an opportunity to be in the moment, take in the environment, notice our senses and maintain some memory around them, connect with others and ourselves. And it also touches on the locavore concept, which is an idea around eating local produce within a certain radius of your location and appreciating it. I've decided to call that soul sustenance. So the idea is I turn heads on my way through with my art bus that's covered in lots of colours, but I'll explain a bit more about that later. So the process is for me to take the clients through a slow down process to really become mindful in the moment. And then they might taste a few different wines or a few different cheeses or whatever it is, whoever it is that I'm collaborating with. I take them through the senses, so they explore the vision, the taste, the smell, the feel, and whatever the other one is that I've forgotten about because I'm nervous. And then express those through the art, and then deepen that process by reflecting on it and sharing it within the group. So these ideas can be used for a variety of groups and settings, teams, events, workshops and tours. With over 200 cellar doors, 300 aged care facilities and 100 community centres in South Australia, I really see that there's a potential for growth. So how on earth am I going to do all these things? Well, back to the colourful art bus. My idea is to use a bus and hopefully get a grant one day to engage the community to paint it, maybe get some artists on board, use that as really developing a sense of belonging, like people say, oh, I'll paint that, and that kind of thing within the community. Think of it like a bit of like a food truck, but it's an art truck. So I kind of turn up with all my artistic materials set up in there. I pretty much do that already in the back of my wagon, will be much more elaborate. So I'm looking into applying for various grants to be able to roll out a series of, say, 5 subsidised soul sustenance workshops in aged care in the next 12 months. Yeah, for around $5,000. Including materials, produce, and the $1,000 charged to the facility. And I'll also be focusing on kickstarting soul sustenance sessions for teens, and these will cost around $2,500 for a full day workshop, including local produce, lunch, materials and venue hire for up to 12 people, so that's more of an extended course. So take the time away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and find a still space where the inner you can speak and be heard. Feel free to check out, and connect through these channels. Thanks. Is it one time?
There it was.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
You had so much you wanted to get out.
It's bubbling over.
That's what really annoys me about artistic people is that just the ideas just come from everywhere. I love the presentation. I'll tell you why. It's because whenever you pose the question in your conversation, you get the answer.
Oh, cool.
So whenever I wrote something, I wrote a few things down and bang, you go to
Oh, see, I'm just like totally onto it now.
I can read it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit.
Yep.
And just maybe a bit more explanation, like a bit more on what is art for.
Yeah.
Something. I like it. I think it needs focus at first on one or two things and then organically grow from there.
Yeah.
But I think the concept's amazing. It's a bit like retirement plan. You only just scratching the surface and what people actually want.
Yeah.
And I like that you think into it rather than into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, great concept for me.
Thank you so much.
I'll be quick. You had me right from the start. And at one point I thought, oh, I'm going to cry. When you showed the picture and told the story about how dementia patients engaged about what I would have loved to have seen now that I seen it further on, because I thought, oh, this is the afternoon going, oh, no, hang on, I'm just on a complete turnabout. It took me a while to get there.
Yeah.
I would take that thing out and just go straight from that and say, it has effect. Now I want to combine those and so on.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Because you would have had me, you still had me.
Yeah.
But to pull me in and then go, and we know this works, so let's slow it down with life now. It would have just brought me along in there. The pricing model is great. I just need a bit more information about that.
Yeah.
Because they're big figures. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can afford that personally, but I realise that's a group how would you sell that? Is it people buying in, or people buying it as a big one-off? A whole lot of great things.
Yeah.
I think we'll be going, here are the things I want to focus on, and then go out from there.
Thank you.
But ask the question, how have you found this process? How has this helped conceptualising this?
It's actually been a really cool journey because it's given me the opportunity to reflect on where it's all come from. And that's what I've done here, is told that story. That I've made personal connections with my own journey. I talk so much and I work with people on their journeys, and I've actually been able to kind of put that into a sequence, which has been really lovely. And also to identify, places, areas that I need support with, because, I have this bubbling over creative brain, but then maybe the other kind of logical financial side of my brain is maybe sitting there quietly. So just identifying, what my strengths and where I need more support as well has been amazing. Yeah, thank you.
All right, a couple of quick points. I know that we're on the clock, but it would be good to see the viability. So stats and some figures around what's happening in 2020. Obviously I would expect that you would have seen somewhat of an uptake, but what's the trend? What are they showing?
Yeah.
Would be good. I think the story was awesome. I think I love your story, and then the creativity around that was really impactful and connected with me. I was quite curious about that. Who is this? And I thought it was you, but I wanted to know more. The workplace product, I agree with Rolf. Stick to one thing and do it really well. And I actually think that's, you can't be otherwise going to be spread too thin. I'd like to know more about that workplace product, like actually who it was for and why you designed it. So who's the market? And also too, how you measure success. What outcomes are you expecting that you would receive by going to that particular market? Who are your partners? The other thing too is around the art track. I think that's exceptional, and I think that is allowing you to have an accessibility, and we know that mental health in regions is not great, and it has been, and it's probably suffered even more so this year. So I think it'd be really useful, just in closing, to look at your work as a triangle almost, where it has a great balance between the commercial, the creative, and the community.
Yes.
And you sit in the middle of that.
It's so good to see visuals.
Yeah, well, I've got some, so I'll share them with you, okay? Because I'm designing it at the moment, all right? So I will share that with you.
Yeah.
But if we can find the balance between those three, I think we're going to find a sweet spot. So great to meet you, and thank you again for sharing.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
So you probably caught it, we all laughed. Tara said, is it wine time? And we all laughed because it's not quite wine time. There is wine time in the way that you're thinking, but we do have a wine time in another way that you probably haven't considered or thought about. And with that segue, I had to think really quickly on that. I would like to introduce Mr. Emmanuel Scorpus. Please make him very welcome as he
G'day. Welcome to the Southern Flinders Ranges, South Australia, an ancient mountain range that meanders its way through a unique landscape, region and home to the First Nations Nukanu people. My name is Emmanuel Scorpus, owner, founder and managing director of Flinders Run Wines, the beautiful Southern Flinders Ranges. 24 years ago, I made the decision to leave the city to pursue a dream inspired by my Greek heritage, as well as a chance meeting with Ian Smith, senior viticulturalist for Leasing Home Wines. That dream was actioned when a farm was purchased in 1996, and shortly thereafter in 1997, the first Shiraz block was established. As days rolled into years, the vineyard holdings were expanded, working hard to bring this dream to fruition. Finding our feet in the industry, as well as gaining valuable experience, essential if we're going to progress with our goals and our aspirations. Chance meeting with Simon Hackett and John Zilm led us to identify that the fruit we were growing was of a premium standard. Under Simon Hackett's guidance, the wine portfolio was developed. 3 years of product trials were conducted, our objective to determine and understand whether pursuing this new venture was a viable proposition. The results of the trials were successful. The information collected provides us with the confidence to move forward and pursue the next phase of the business. Flinders Run, the brand, is born. With a love and respect for this country and its Indigenous First Nations people and their culture, Aboriginal artist Charmaine Wilson is commissioned to create a series of artworks to represent the brand. Our intention here is to pay homage to the region's Indigenous heritage while capturing the beauty of this unique yet ancient landscape and its First Nations people. Flinders Run's debut on the international stage was an exciting proposition, with our dream coming to fruition when representation in the highly competitive USA market was secured. Critic acclaim was soon realised when highly respected wine critic Robert Parker awarded Flinders Run a 95-point review for its 2005 Shiraz. With subsequent wines awarded similar reviews, Flinders Run morphed into a producer of premium wine. On the backing of a solid foundation, our horizons broaden, new international markets are pursued. With demand for the product increasing, the need to increase our production capacity was clear, while taking control of the processing side of the business was fast becoming a necessity. This expansion requires the development of a commercial winery facility here in the southern Flinders Ranges. Our focus is on premium wine production. A graduate investment in tanks and other related infrastructure has been pursued. Our aim to be commercial ready to process the 2022 vintage. By moving in this direction, Flinders Run will be equipped to take control of the product, its development, and importantly, its future operations here in the southern Flinders Ranges. In consultation with industry-leading professionals, new and alternative varietals will be planted, expanding the range and thus creating a diverse portfolio of wines that will enhance and complement our Flinders Run brand. The natural progression of the business will see the introduction of a cellar door, a unique approach to wine tourism. A collaboration with local Aboriginal artists will see us create an Indigenous art gallery and cultural display facility, a unique and unprecedented approach to wine tourism in this immediate region. Our aim is to develop a new and exciting tourism experience for the many thousands of tourists who visit this region annually. Our sights are focused on the cellar doors business, creating a new and exciting future, while generating an attractive new income stream that will complement and complete the business model. Our location has us uniquely placed to draw on the 3,500 vehicles that pass us daily, while enjoying the luxuries associated with minimal competition in our immediate region. With projected wine production to exceed 40,000 cases by 2030, Flinders Run will be well placed to capitalise on its existing markets while exploring new ones to increase our international footprint. With little, if any, competition in our immediate region, the introduction of a new and exciting cellar door complex should see the company generate a new and substantial sales opportunity that has the potential to increase sales by a massive 31% of the forecasted sales. An exciting, emerging region. The southern Flinders Range is one of Australia's best kept viticultural secrets. Flinders Run has pioneered the region, proudly flying the flag as its ambassador on the international stage. A family-owned, estate-grown winery business. Our life, our passion, our future. This family-owned and operated business encompasses the total package, from the grapes to the glass and everything in between. Flinders Run is uniquely placed to capitalise on this location, while providing an unprecedented approach to wine tourism here in the beautiful southern Flinders Ranges of South Australia. You can find us on Facebook. We're actively working Facebook daily. Our internet presence is there, although it's a bit out of date, and a new website is being commissioned at the moment. But as you can appreciate, we're in a unique location, new, emerging, and this is our life, this is our passion, this is our future. Thank you.
Wowzers, okay, I'm on the ball. I haven't had too much wine, so I'm good. Hey, thank you for that. That's quite exciting.
Actually, it settled my nerves at the back.
Did it? Good. Well, hopefully not too much, need the balance. Hey, no, thank you very much for that. So, who is Simon Hackett in to know?
No.
No, so no one knows who. I wouldn't know. There's a couple
Simon
of
Hackett
Hackett, so
is a mentor, a very close friend, and a respectable winemaker.
Okay, so I wouldn't know that, so I wouldn't say, hey Simon, right? So actually putting that and giving some context around that for me to understand the importance of that and how it adds credibility and trust from the beginning would be really good. The other thing is too, the trials, what trials did you do and what did it actually review? It would be good just to have some insight around that. You talk about 2020 and obviously, I mean, there's 2020 has been an interesting year for winemakers and changes in trade relationships. So it would be good maybe, and I know you're putting in an art gallery and there'll be a cellar door and that, but what else is there? Maybe it's the elephant in the room a little bit to talk about that too and how the model moving forward will diversify and minimise, risk to the business would be good.
That was something that was identified today through Matthew.
Oh, look at that.
It's an unfortunate thing, but our Chinese relationship has put a dent in the business model.
So what I'd like to think about too is, okay, well then how do we diversify? What does the future look like and how are you going to take advantage of that? And I suppose the last comment that I'd like to know a little bit about, because my background is your tourism partners, who you're going to be partnering with to make sure that these ideas around the cellar door and the art gallery is going to be a success. The images look beautiful, but who are some of the key people who are going to make that happen? But it certainly sounds exciting, and I really appreciate your time and coming forward and pitching. Thank you, Frank.
Well done. It must be scary from you up there looking down.
Especially looking down here.
Yeah, I'm listening to the table, yeah.
We have a legend in the room.
Yeah.
Interesting facts and figures. I didn't realise there's that many cars going past every day. So your opportunistic market is important. In the selling pitch, a bit more on unique value. Credibility is good. You mentioned new varieties, but that's where it stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a matter of even if, again, it's Simon Hackett Mark II, whatever, but explaining why they are. I gather you're going to be planting varieties that grow in southern Italy or Greece or wherever, but it's specifically for climates like yours. So it's taking the allure of something great in Europe and bringing it home. And just tell everybody it's going to be the world's greatest one. I like the whole concept of art tourism, and the reason is that you're not just going to attract one people. You're going to attract people that are coming into the art gallery. So then it's a matter of doing all the add-ons to your art gallery. Beautiful place to stop. I gather the view's going to be good where it's built. Yeah. With food offering, coffee. Yeah. So I mean, because you're the only one in the area, the opportunity is tremendous.
Yeah.
And the objective is to be the leader of it.
And that's what we're focused on. I was told back in 2007, take your model for Riverland, there's no place here for this kind of business in the southern Finland Ranges. I've proved them wrong.
So, be the leader. Everybody remembers the leader.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It will work. Just get the highway to
Yeah.
We're about 3.2 k's from the highway. Yeah. So, yeah. And with the right signage from the north and the right signage from the south, I'm pretty confident. If we were to draw on 1% of that highway traffic, you don't have to spend $100 on a cellar door. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the story. I love the fact of the new region. I love that you're there and creating that as well. I actually drove through the region about 3 months ago, and we saw the sign about the wine region, the Southern Vineyards. The carload of us who spend a lot of time exploring regions, except we spend most of our days doing really? This is a region? Like, oh no. And I think there's scope then to start playing on the fact that it's got history but it's new as well, because everyone loves to discover something new. But the thing is, you have history and you're in a very, very significantly historical area as well. So I think there's great potential to make that. I think also because it is a new region, you could take advantage of some of the technology stuff that might be a good person for that we've got really, I've forgotten my words now. but legitimise that these are grapes from a region that is unknown, which I love. I love the idea. The one thing I will question, because I also love the label, and I love the story behind that, and the commitment to Indigenous art. You said premium wine, which it is. I think there's a slight mismatch between the bottling and the premium wine. But that just needs time. You're relatively new, they've been doing it for years, but it's new to the market. So I think it'd be good to even have two series. But I now am intrigued and I want to explore the region.
Thank you.
Just one comment from a marketing point of view. Weave the story of the painting.
One of the factors, and apart from the label, one of the factors that have been announced in recent times is the state government and federal government pumped $10 million into the region to open the Southern Flinders Ranges as a new tourism destination. So national parks and the 5 regional councils have come together to create a collaboration to create the next best thing in South Australia. So their idea is to roll this out over the next 3 years, and we'd like to be ideally placed to be able to capitalise on that, and with the right investment and receptive to investment, to be able to roll this out in conjunction with the development that's happening in Southern Flinders Ranges.
I think also you mentioned the liquid laboratory before. That's a really significant thing to have someone who's actually who's an expert when it comes to wine tourism, to identify that you and the region, particularly for this wine, is something that she wants to collaborate with and help. And that's a differentiator as well.
Well, one of the things you actually just raised in respect of value label connection is something she's raised as a topic of concern.
Yeah. But great, I really want to explore it. We will now be stopping on the plan that we stop to Brewery, we were stopping.
Nice, thank you.
Well done, Amanda. We have 2 to go. We've got to keep our energy levels up. There's only 2. And then we can have wine time, as quoted before, and not in the way that Manuel pitched it. She has had a bit of a rough day today, so getting our energy levels up will help her out immensely. So I would like to introduce Sarah Bernardo. She's going to make her way down to the stage, but give her a really big round of applause.
Righto. So who here has received really bad customer service? I have. I'm going to probably point out more so to the busy mums and women in the room. Have you been to a beauty or nail salon and just walked out and gone, that was really crappy service? Some of you have, some of you not so much. What if you were provided with a salon experience where you felt nurtured, valued and respected? My name's Sarah. I'm the owner of All For You Beauty, and my passion started in 2007 when my kids were born, or when one of them was born. And that's when I really realised I wanted to start a business at home where I could work it around my family and have that work-life balance. So in 2009, I don't know why that happened, but 2009 I completed my certificate in beauty at TAFE SA, and that's when I realised that I could really make this turn this into something. But unfortunately, I've lived a mining lifestyle where I ended up travelling, moving around a lot, and that meant I didn't have a stable location for the business. I also worked in underground mining myself, so yeah, I was out of the game for a little bit. But that's okay. I ended up in 2007, moved back to Gawler.
And that's when my partner came up with the idea for the business and encouraged me to go back into beauty. And that's how it started. That was the initial setup, a nail table in my living room. Could you imagine? You can imagine kids and dogs around trying to do nails for clients, but it just boomed. In 3 months, I tripled my business. And people just loved it. I talked to my clients, I engaged with them, I gathered data and insight into what they wanted. And I realised they wanted connection, they wanted the quality service, value for money was a big one, and no judgment. So that's when All For You Beauty was born. In 2019, we officially became a registered business. We're a home-based salon in Gawler East, and we employ two therapists. We do waxing, facials, makeup, pretty much anything beauty that you can think of. But we're not your everyday beauty salon. We aim to provide a complete customer experience. The way I want to do that is to make people walk out feeling like a queen. Women between the ages of 35 and 45, particularly, who just really just need that unwind time with their families. And this is why. Because 69% of women don't take regular time out for themselves, and that was they were numbers that I got from a survey that I had done recently. There's a lot of stressed out women. And the industry's failing them at the moment. There's so many walk-in salons that have popped up over the last 10 years with no customer care and harmful products and cheap products that I can't even get here, and I wouldn't. I want people to walk out feeling special. I want them to prioritise time for themselves because we really need to make that important. I want them to free the guilt of spending money on themselves, because as women we just tend to, especially mums, we just tend to not do that because, well, we just feel bad. So when you come to us, you can rely on genuine connection. It's just us. Value for money, you get what you pay for. You're not, you pay for an hour, you get an hour. A safe space where you can just relax and feel comfortable. Come in your pajamas and your slippers if you want to. Gosh, I've had so many people do that and it's fantastic. How we do this? We do this by personalising our treatments to each of our clients. We're present, we don't do numerous clients at once. We allow adequate time to make sure that people are getting their value for money. We listen to their feedback and implement new products and services based on that client feedback. And client satisfaction is paramount to me. That's also something that I instill in my employees as well. I want them to have that same integrity and I want it to flow across my businesses. Our vision is to be a recognised beauty hub across South Australia and Queensland. A home-based beauty hub, actually. We want to open up a second home salon in Noosa in Queensland because that's where my partner lives and works. And in 5 years we aim to franchise or licensing model to other stay-at-home mums in the profession. They have to be qualified, who just don't know where to start, like I did. And so we plan to offer packages where they come in and we supply the materials and the products and the support. 2020 meant a bit of a change in direction for me. Because of COVID, and I became allergic to my nail products, so it closed me down completely. So they gave me opportunity to grow, so to really work on the back end of the business that I wasn't doing before, and to train in other areas. I'm now a cosmetic tattooist, which brings in bigger money. What it shows here is that in 3 months I can increase my sales by 480%, even after being completely broken down. And this is why. Because our clients love me, love us. They love the business. They love coming to us. And they feel nurtured. And they feel comfortable. And so they refer us and they keep coming back. So why me? I have the potential. I know I do. I have the drive. I'm not saying that word. I have the drive to make this successful, and I've shown that in my sales. I stand by my values and my integrity, and plan to keep that going across the whole business. And I'm mouldable, and I'm willing to learn. Throw anything at me, and I'm happy to take it all in, and I'm teachable, and I'm going to make it. This is going to happen, whether someone invests in me or not. It's happening. What I need, though, I need help. I need some help in areas that I'm really struggling with a little bit. In business mentoring, but mostly marketing and social media right now. Business mentoring is something I really, really love, after I've got my social media right. Financial modelling, I think that comes in business mentoring. But right here, right now, with all of you, exposure. Please, exposure. Look me up, like my page, get name out there, hand out business cards, I don't care. But I need exposure as well. So I have a mini website at allforyoubbeauty.com.au where people can book online. And then I'm available on Facebook and Instagram. But as you can see, we have an essay at the end because we plan to then expand over to Queensland. This isn't just about beauty for me. It's about clients feeling nurtured, valued, and respected, and to never feel like they're just another number. Wow, croaky voice.
Well done. Well done. And
Thank you.
can I just say thank you also for thinking
Oh, my
about...
partner's on FaceTime. He's easy to stay.
Hello.
Mute. Stop it.
Thank you for thinking about doing things differently. There has been a real change in this market for women. What I can see and what you're offering is often offered at a really extreme value end, which differentiates those the high premium environments, the American design. But being at home and actually making that so relaxed and setting it up as though you're going into a premium environment, but actually being in the home where you actually are treated as an individual and thinking about the products that are being used, that is a real different approach. And you've done exceptionally well. Well done. I love also your honesty. I love that you identify this is what I need help. This is what I love. This is what I need help with.
Yeah.
And I believe everything you said. I believe you are going to make it.
Oh yeah.
And I believe you are determined, and I love that. What are you hoping? When you went into that door, what were you hoping to achieve, and how are you feeling this side of the experience?
Oh gosh, I don't really know how to answer that question. So, I was wanting to get a better, a clearer understanding of who I am as the business and what I envision, like simple things like colours and that niche, who am I marketing to and all that stuff. But there's things I didn't even think about before, really. And it's definitely done that. Yeah, it's definitely done that. There's some things where I'm like, I probably wasn't expecting that. It's like the last 3 weeks just being about the pitch. Kind of would have liked a little bit more about the business side of things and how to grow. But yeah, it definitely got us thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah, it did. It did. Well done.
No, well done. Very exciting. Energy and big picture. First thing is you've got your emails, your websites with their saying and done registered QR codes.
Yeah.
You can always sell it away, but you've got it for the future. I love great lateral thinking, love it. Evaluating worries me a little bit as to how you can actually take the proposition and really evaluate it. I understand the whole personal field, but you totally understand the separate way of separating the clients and money.
Yeah.
And just evaluating to them but at your advantage. As far as marketing and social media goes, that's a clients.
Yeah,
the simplest form for you.
I know, and that's why I really want to focus on that and how to actually optimise it properly, because I really have no idea.
Well, simple, you've got everything, so you've got the parts and you've got a photo.
Before after.
Yeah, I do a lot of that. Yeah,
And put it up.
yeah, it's the search engine optimisation kind of stuff, the website building, things that I really don't know much about, that I would
Well,
really
I
like.
strongly believe that the way your plan is initially, your spread will be working.
Yeah,
So you keep your completely client happy and you go from there and then it's the next level. It's not always going to be done in houses. You cannot do this for every houses, so you have to start thinking about, I might have to put this into commercial reality. What's the first stage of commercial reality? How can I put my concept into something that doesn't or it shouldn't fit, but it will fit, like a flower shop. Somewhere that's calm. You know, the back of a really good coffee shop, something like that, something when you can do.
Thank you for that. Happy it's over. Did you enjoy it?
oh,
Come on, enjoy it.
it was really good, it's great learning.
Yeah,
That's the first time I've ever presented
Well, we've done
remotely.
well and we'll get it.
Really?
Yeah,
Well
it's the
done.
first
Well.
PowerPoint I've ever done.
Yeah, awesome.
Well
I thought it
done.
looked quite good actually. So yeah, no, I thought it looked quite.
Pardon? Oh gosh, I wish it was them.
So a couple of comments that are some really, I think, important feedback for you to sit on and to consider. Women 35 to 45, so I wouldn't come and see you because I'm not 45, just so. But I think it's a very narrow market, and I think, you know, there's a lot of women, younger women that need to feel good as well, being in a safe, loving, caring space as well. So think about that. The other thing is, you know, you talk about your products, it would be great to know a bit more about the product behind the story as well.
Yeah.
You've obviously had quite great growth this year, haven't you?
Only since August.
Okay.
It's been in 3 months.
Yeah, so you've got to think about that. That puts you in a position of risk.
Okay.
Okay, and the reason I'm going to say is that you've got to really understand how you're going to manage that.
Yeah, that's why I need the mentoring.
That's why I would go there first before I worry about your marketing.
Oh,
Okay, because the marketing on social media is great, but how are you going to manage even more?
yeah.
Yeah, so just hear that because people go, what do you mean? What? Growth's awesome, isn't it? That's what we all want, don't we? And it's like, yeah, but it's got to be managed.
Yeah, okay.
So I'd get you to, and I'm happy to talk to you later about that, but I think while you are you running out of clients anytime soon?
Am I running out?
Yeah, clients.
I'm struggling to get them in, so those sales are really good, but that's not my profit.
Yeah, okay.
That's just sales in the
Yeah.
last 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get my name out there
Yeah.
and bring those clients in. I'm not booked out.
Okay.
I'm not booked out.
Okay, so we need to manage obviously the growth as well too, right? And how, you know, when you have your social media and marketing, how you're going to manage it. If it goes great guns, if it doesn't, what does that mean too? So yeah, no, I loved your honesty and your realness as well around that. And no, I think that's awesome too, because personality and professionalism, they need to coexist together. And I really like the idea of Rob's idea around collaboration and finding some places where you don't sort of expect it, because it makes you curious too, right? But there's an alignment of values around that other business. So how you can actually...
Is that what you mean by, sorry?
Yeah, collaboration.
When you talk about something like that, do you mean like stay in the home-based setting as well as like those little collaborations?
If you're going to grow this business, you've got to get out of home.
Pardon?
You have to get out of home.
Yeah.
But you want to find an environment that makes it feel it.
That's also on value.
It's homely.
Yeah, so that's something I can talk about with you outside of here if you want to have an idea around that. But yeah, that's really how do I increase my reach, but do it in a way that's considerate to the brand and what you stand for. And that can, if you don't understand that, then it can go wrong. But having to talk that through with you. And yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Well
very
done,
much.
Sarah.
We are so close, as I was saying about Anthony, when we started this whole process about an hour and a half ago, being the very first cab off the rank is very difficult, followed by the last cab off the rank. But it's also an advantage because she does have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression on you. It's the very last thing you're going to leave here before wine time starts. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce my very last presenter, Bridget Johns. Please welcome her to...
We all have 1,440 minutes in every day. How are you spending your most precious asset, your time? Are you time rich or time poor? What could you do with an extra 5 hours in your week? That's what I save my clients on average every week. Tonight, I'm going to be talking to you about my journey from being time poor, the women I want to support, and how I can support you to get an extra 300 minutes in your week. So this was me 6 years ago, going back in time to when I was overwhelmed, tired, exhausted, and not enjoying life. I was busy and I was spending a lot of time procrastinating because I wanted everything to be perfect. I had a house full of stuff that made it feel suffocating. I was feeling resentful towards my husband for all the unseen housework I was doing. I didn't have any time to myself in the day. So when the kids would go to bed at night, I would be too exhausted to do anything else, so I'd sit there scrolling social media or watching crappy TV till late into the night. Then I'd wake up exhausted the next day and the cycle would repeat again. Does this sound like anyone in the room? I'm not alone. Many women in their 30s and 40s feel like I did. 40% of women in their 34 to 54 report having extreme stress levels. They are actually called the sandwich generation. I'm not sure if you've heard about it, and that age group is the most stressed. They are sandwiched between raising young children, sometimes financially supporting their adult children, and maybe caring for or supporting their ageing parents, while also juggling unpaid and paid work. On top of that, many of these women are living in homes that are full of stuff as well. This stuff is taking up a lot of our time. A Harvard University study found that by eliminating clutter, we would reduce housework by 40%, and how good would it be to spend less time doing housework? Hi, I'm Bridget Johns, and I'm the founder of Be Simply Free, and we're on a mission to empower women to have more time in their lives. I want to support women to go from being time poor to time rich. I'm an expert in helping women declutter, organise, systemise, and find fun and joy in their lives. My product is to offer an online course to help women to make this change. This is what I want people to do. I want people and families to have more time to enjoy themselves. This is us in January. My husband's a mad Elvis fan, so we renewed our wedding vows up on stage with an Elvis impersonator with our kids standing beside us. I want families to collect moments, not things, to have the time to create these memories like we did last July. Darwin feeding a giant crocodile. So my online course is available to everyone worldwide. You can do it at your own pace, but the real power comes from when you work with our group of simplifiers, so we can learn from each other. We can, the online course involves 4 systems, 4 spaces, and 4 self-care strategies. In this course, we have pre-recorded modules that you can watch or listen to. There's live question and answer sessions. And I show pictures of my spaces and walk you through my home so you've got different ideas of what you can do. We also have templates which you can try at home and adding those more self-care strategies into your day. And to make dinner time simpler. This is a big area where time gets zapped. A big part of it is accountability, so giving people challenges and showing those before and after pictures to keep everyone on track. So on top of the online program, we also offer one-on-one support. So we can do one-on-one, 1 hour declutter coaching sessions, or a 3-month program where there's 6 fortnightly declutter coaching sessions as well. If you're in South Australia, we also offer 4-hour in-person. So I'm standing right next to you as you're decluttering. I've recently trialled this course with some amazing feedback from Kelly and Gemma, just to give you some examples here. There are a lot of professional organisers out there, but what sets me apart is women come to me looking for help to declutter their home, but I help them declutter their lives. I want to help people strip back the stuff in their physical spaces, the appointments in their calendars, and the expectations in their minds. So, if you're wanting to gain back 5 hours in your week, let's have a chat. You can log on to my website now and sign up straight away, or follow along on social media for daily tips and tricks. So let me help you move from stress to less to living a life with more. Thank you. you.
Well done. You summed that up beautifully in, how many minutes?
5:05. 5 seconds over.
No. But the message was so brilliantly presented, and you covered everything that I wanted to do about it. And from my point of view, got the brain moving because, I mean, obviously you just want to be a personal concierge to a certain level. The only thing I was thinking of, we've done all the decluttering in your life. What else can you do?
Yeah, so well, it's about having that time, so making it, and that could be, and when I gained that time, I had the time to build this business, so it could be a different career direction I go in, so yeah.
And I think the concept, just as a comment, I think the concept for one-on-one could be franchised now.
Yes, that was a comment.
So I don't have a lot of questions or comments. I think you've just covered it all pretty well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I like the line to create moments, not things. And I reckon there's a tagline in that you could use off the back of that.
Yep.
To a greater degree. I thought your branding was beautiful. I thought you presented, well. The other thing too is that you alluded to it, and I know once again 5 minutes, I'm not going to be at time, time police, but I think it's hard to expand on that, but you're curating a community at the moment in your work, is that right?
Yeah, so since the course, that was probably
Awesome.
the learning, just starting to
Yeah, great. So that's something that's a work in progress, and I get that. But I think people really want to know that, and I think this year people are really wanting to connect more than ever.
Yeah.
So I think we've got a great opportunity to really leverage that. Product and costings. I mean, I've got my glasses, but even on, I couldn't probably read that if it was there. So maybe a nice summary around what the product is and what the costing is, and what you an overview of what you get within it.
Yep.
And the meaning of 444. Is that some cult that I'm not aware of?
I get up at 4:44 in the morning to make some more time, but I don't encourage that for everyone, but it was a bit of a play on that.
Okay.
So I think I'll be changing that.
I would change it because I'd be like, I'm missing something. I want some 444. I don't want 4:44
It's also an
a.m.
angel number that talks about moving in the right life direction
All
as
right.
well.
So if you're going to use it, just think about, well, how do people interpret that and some context around it as well, because I don't really want to get up at 4:44.
I know, yeah.
6 a.m. I will.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, great. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
I'm just going to make one or two very quick comments. Number one, I want to sign up because I need to get crap out of my house because I can't. Anyway, what I would like to know though is, and I know this is the pitch, a sales pitch. Not everyone succeeds. That gets involved.
Yeah.
And I'd love you to cover and address that and say, not everyone will.
Yeah.
But if we can do one thing,
yes,
then that works towards doing all things.
And that's what I love about the 1% of the day. Find that 15 minutes and just start. Avoid the procrastination and focus on perfection.
I think it would be really good to identify that not everyone is going to succeed in every part.
Yeah.
But if we could make one, that would be a good part. Well done.
We made it. Well, you made it. I hope this is a huge relief. I also hope that you got a ton of value from the program over the 8 weeks that we are together. From here on out, what we are going to do is I'm going to send the judging panel away to deliberate, and without sounding like the rock star at the band coming to Nuri saying, Nuri, you're the best crowd ever, you were amazingly well. This makes the judging panel go away and try to decide who's going to be quote unquote top 2. But like I said last time, please choose yourself. No matter what happens within the next 10, 15, 20 minutes, you have all done phenomenally well, as I said. So without risking sounding like that person at the front of the stage with the mic saying how good you were as a crowd, you have done phenomenally well. And I've really, really enjoyed watching all of those. You've given yourselves a round of applause. I'd like you to give our judging panel a round of applause for their time. And our unsung hero, Kat. I'm just the puppet at the front. She does all the work. I am just here getting my strings pulled. But yeah, thanks Kat for really all the hard yards behind the scenes. So you can finally, it is wine time, let your hair down. I will send the judging panel away. For people at home streaming online, please do not hang up your connection. Please just go to the toilet and get a drink, or Kat's saying you can. You can go home now. We will let you know who the winners are. Go home, go to sleep, do whatever you need to do at 8:30 on a Wednesday night. Without further ado, it's up to you guys now.
No pressure.
And start.
Having a bit of picture.
Oh, it's good. So literally all we were doing in there was drinking wine and everything. And we were sitting around just building the suspense, but we weren't. He hadn't had enough dinner because, like I was saying, it was very, very, it was really tight. And I'm going to hand over to Verity. It was really tight, judging call, and there were some hard questions, and it was really, really difficult. And Verity, I'm going to call her to the stage, and she's probably going to reiterate some of the words that I said. But we are going to hear it from Rolf, after he's finished eating, with some tips to move forward once the training wheels come off after the next 15 minutes when it's 9 o'clock. Verity, welcome again.
We won't keep you in suspense for too long. We're going to do a couple of things first. First of all, I've done these judging things a few times now. That is the longest process that I've ever gone through, which just shows how amazing the quality is. Hang on, where am I now? It just shows the quality of what everyone has done. And hearing from Oren about a little bit about his journey and the process that you have been through as well has been just brilliant to hear. And it is an absolute gift to be able to sit on that side of the table, even though you're thinking, oh, who are those people? To hear where you're coming from, to hear your experiences, for you to share that with us. That is not something that everyone gets an experience to do it. So thank you so much. Thank you for going out of your comfort zones. And thank you for stepping up and doing that, especially for those who've never done anything like that before. You all did exceptionally well. Exceptionally well. I will announce them in just a moment. What I'm going to ask first is, Ali, I'm going to ask you to come up first to talk about what happens from here. Yep. Then Rolf will ask you to come up to pass some feedback back for everybody, and then I'll announce what the prize is and who wins.
Thank you. Thanks, Verity. So Dee Edwards and I have been speaking for probably about a year. Hello, Dee. And we wanted to curate something that would be incredibly valuable for all the participants that are coming through VentureDoor. So after tonight, you might be thinking, where do I go from here? I've got so much great experience. I've had met a lot of people. I've got some awesome feedback from everyone tonight. But how do I go forward? So NBI have lovingly funded myself, my company, to work with participants of VentureDoor that want to have the opportunity to work in a small group in one-on-one to co-design a way forward and to pick up on some of the opportunities that have come out of tonight and through your own work that you've done with Oren and your mentors as well too. So as part of this, I'm going to give you a little bit of takeaway. You can have a look about what the company's about and around. Contact me if you want to know what that opportunity is. We're kicking off 2.5 days in November, just to briefly talk about what we're going to do and what you'll get. We're going to be doing an innovation capability review where I'll work with you to really understand where the gaps and threats are around your ideas and how we innovate from them. So it's a really exciting, different perspective around perhaps some of the business planning that you've done so far. So it's a brave, bold piece of work that you and I will do together around scenario planning and understanding how we take risk and flip it on its head. Early in the new year, I haven't got the exact dates on me, but they are in the diary. We're going to take that piece, we give you a break over Christmas, go and relax, do some thinking, sit on a beach, and early in the year we then come back, we're reconnecting on that innovation capability piece that we've designed together, the plan, and we scope it up with an activation plan. So we're refining, we're understanding what we have to leave behind if it doesn't serve us, and we're really focusing on where to and where are we going to have the greatest outcomes. So I'm excited to finally work again with NBI and have the opportunity to work with you on something that's going to be handmade. We'll work in a very small group and then we actually co-design these resources. So if you're bold and you're brave and you're up for it, and you really want to look at, okay, I'm serious about this, I'm not going to mess around, and I want to work in a creative, safe environment to take this further, I'd love the chance to connect in with you tonight and give you my details, and Dee will obviously be able to register you so you don't miss out on that. So thank you for the opportunity to come and meet and learn more about you, and I hope our paths cross again. It was hard to make a decision. We're not going to hold you in suspense for much longer, but I certainly hope to have the chance to share some intel and learn from you and give quite a lot to you as part of this next step if you're happy to take the deep dive. Thank you. I won.
Oh,
Not my first.
Can we sit up there and drink another bottle of wine? Look, everybody who participated tonight, thank you so much. Some of you stood up here and you trembled, but then after a while you relaxed and it became good. It's a hard journey you're about to go on. I'm at the end of my journey. We actually haven't sold the winery yet, but we're planning to sell it to somebody. And after doing all this for close to 40 years, when you're young, when you're starting a business, it's hard work, all right? Because you're the only one. So I'll give you a bit of advice, which hasn't helped me, but I'll give you a bit of advice. Never be scared to ask for help, okay? And find somebody in your industry who you look up to. Get to know them, because you will often find people that have been doing it for a long time. They're willing to share information. They're willing to give you those little 0.5%ers or 1% just to help you. Never, ever, ever be scared to ask people for help, okay? Another tip, where's Sarah? Get a notepad and all your ideas in your head, write them down. Because one, you won't worry about it, but two, it'll just give clarity to you, okay? Because you obviously have a lot of ambition, you will really want to go far, but just write them all down, okay? And then you'll sift out what's good, what's bad, what's in you. But it will just help you give clarity. Actually, all of you could do it, because you're going to sit there thinking, how do I grow? Just write it all down. It doesn't cost anything. Puts it out of here, puts it on paper. The other thing, if you write something down with your own handwriting, you're more likely to remember. Okay? You have a great idea at 3 in the morning, you wake up at 6:30 and go, now, what was it? But I'm just going to go through all of you and just summarise quickly. Anthony, passion, love it. But look, I'm happy, because just by changing simple words, it just made it. All I'm going to say with you is explore all of the ideas. You don't have to stop at a brewery. Your concept, and because you're going to have provenance with your hops there and all that, can go a lot further. Elaine, you'll succeed. You have a beautiful personal touch with what you do. It will work, and I think word of mouth will be your biggest friend, and if you create a great experience, you'll get more customers, more customers, more customers. Suzanne, very calm. I like it. You'll engage. You will get the trust of people very, very quickly. So pursue it. Take it further. Tara, slow down and focus. Great concept. Great concept. The help is there to help you on your journey and work it out. And come back down and then let it grow from there. And I'll give you that idea to all of you. Take your concept, distill it, and then grow from there. Manuel, provenance is what you need up there. You need people to prove to people that you're unique. Okay, and there's got to be something in the southern Flinders. The fact that 400 and something million years ago it was a rainforest, you can tell them that it rained a lot. Grow slowly, don't grow too quickly, because you have to manage your growth. Because growth looks good on paper, but then you go, oh hell, I need 3 more employees. So just grow in increments. Create your demand first, because nothing sells like sold out. And then the other thing is, I think you have a unique opportunity up there with your climate and everything, and it doesn't take you long to establish wines. Find something that's totally unique to you. Find a nice Greek grape variety that nobody grows in Australia, or Italian or something, and just specialise in that, so that there is a purpose for people to come to you. Sarah, got a great offering. It's what people want. I'll just give you a very simple example. We've all had a fairly rough year, and selling has been interesting in that year. And we took a decision with our direct marketing from the winery to do offers to the customers because everybody else was doing it. But we did 3 direct offers with no attached price list, only a phone number. And people rang us. And the interesting thing about people ringing us was we could talk to them, we could engage them. And in, some of the darkest times in April and May, people just enjoyed that experience of being able to speak to somebody else, connect with somebody else. I'm fortunate that Lauren and Cynthia are very good at upselling. So from that respect, it was good. But it created that beautiful personal touch with people. And that's what people will, as you say, We all know about bad experience. So good experiences, but then start encouraging your customers to talk about their great experiences. Share it, not with Instagram, but with their friends. That's a good way to grow your business. Bridget, go global. Simple. You're on the net now, just go global. Go for it. Bit of SEO, optimisation, prove your point. Look at accreditation, which I think is going to be needed because it's becoming a bit of a cluttered space. Expand your offering, but while expanding your offering, also specialise in things. So again, to all of you, great job. I want to see you all on the top 500 rich list in 20 years.
Two quick things. What happens from here? Thank you, Ali and Dee, and working together on what is a great offering for every venture dormer for this particular region of Barossa, North and North. Those people who have presented tonight, but also those who haven't presented but are connecting in online. The offering is open to all of you to connect in with the program that Dee and I have been working on in November and January, and I encourage you each to do that. Thank you particularly for our mentors. I know from feedback from every participant that it is hugely valuable, the time, the guidance and assistance you give. And we know from everybody who's been through the Venture World Public Program just how committed you are to our participants, but most importantly committed to each individual's personal growth. So to the mentors, for those that are here, for those that are online, and those that might not be here. The winners of Venture Dorm for Barossa, York and Mid-North, what happens now? Two things. Oh, I keep going with two things, my whole thing. Three. Two things. Number one, you get offered a space for 6 months for free out of the Tonsley Envision space, which you might think, that's nowhere near where I am. But it enables you to have a space to meet people from the city that might be wanting to connect or potentially find out more. There's a desk there. It also puts you in a community of a range of different entrepreneurs and startups. Obviously, this is a brilliant ecosystem here, absolutely. But sometimes you just need a space in the city as well, so you get the free space for 6 months to do that as well. I encourage every single one of you, before I do the next bit, to also connect in with the Envision Slack space. There are so many people who have been sitting in the seats where you are, who want to help you succeed and want to share when they've come across, when you've come across barriers that they've been through, and here's the experience that they've had and what they've learned, and here's some context as well. You can do that online, post a question, and people really want to assist. Okay. So it's, I've only just discovered Slack.
Yeah. We've all been added to it, so go through it and click through Slack. I think some of you have activated that channel. It's pretty straightforward. If not, send me an email.
Yeah. I know that the new group of venture dormers for it's called Without Borders, because there's people from all around the place engaged in that. They've already started posting questions in there. People have already going, oh, have you seen this? There's grant opportunities that are posted. There are free training sessions. There's workshops and online streaming things that get advertised there. And there's a great community to support each other in there as well. Excuse me. We run at the end of this year, we're doing a showcase for each of our programs across this year for the winners of each of those programs to present, where we actually launch this out. We stream this out to our whole community. So that is our business mentors, excuse me, our government partners, our corporate partners, people who might want to get on board and help you achieve what you need to achieve. And we're doing a showcase at the end of the year. And so those that have won tonight have the opportunity to present at that, which will either be a choice of doing that in person or pre-recorded to present as well. and it's a showcase. It's a showcase of highlighting those people who have been the people we think have got the edge in their current idea to get that next stage. Excuse me. Like I said when I came in, this really was, I know everyone says it all the time, it's like a hard decision. It was. We literally went over and over, back and forth, going, how do we do this? Because every time we said, oh, but this, someone said, but that. So, drum roll please. We have 2 winners who get the free image space for six months at Tonsley, plus the opportunity to present as part of our showcase nationally. Is Silverbark Brewery. And an immersive art experience. You will get another level of certificate to say congratulations. And I know Ali and Rolf and I are absolutely serious. We found this so hard.
So don't abuse me. Don't work with me.
It really is. And we actually got it down to 7 and 6. And we kept saying, okay, who is going to be able to do it even without this exposure? And it got down to that final line. Who is still going to be able to achieve this without actually having to do the showcase? And that's what it came down to. But who can we give an edge to with the showcase as well? So what we get to do now is actually do a proper graduation for every single one of you. We get a certificate for participation, sounds like everyone gets a certificate. You get a graduation certificate for being part of EdgeStorm, which we're going to do now. It gives you an opportunity to do a photo op if you want. I try to get out of those photo ops, but I will. Either if you want to do the hand, or if it's a hand, it's a foot. The foot tap, the elbow, or a handshake, whatever your option is, we're going to do the graduation now. All right, so first of all, Anthony, come on down. Congratulations. Well done. There we go. Sarah.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Thank you.
I should get you guys to hold this a bit really, shouldn't I? I'm just going to hold all sorts of
Are you going with 2?
You get some honourable
Thanks. I can do it.
Adrian. We just really want to do that.
Look at me being all professional.
Tara. You get to hold this for next time. Congratulations. Thank you. So much. Oh.
I feel like I'm jumping right now. Thank you.
Kelly. You get to Thanks. And I was like, oh, but it's a surprise. And I'm like, Bridget. do the announcement for the next person. Susanna. Oh, this one first. Then this one. Yes, thank you. This is really professional, so your way through this. Elaine. Congratulations. I really trying to want to take the dog's cake. Oh, you keep dog. I'll give this to the others. Did I give you both or one? This one? I think this one. Emmanuel. I'm in my angle now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone watching online as well, particularly those who have participated, well done and congratulations. We'll have some out to you soon as well. Please join me in congratulating every single one of those people who have participated in Adventure Dawn. I would just particularly like to thank both Ali and Rolf for your participation tonight. It's really, truly invaluable having you and having your experience and guidance through this process, having your input. I know that I learned from whoever's on the judging panel with me as well, and I'm pretty sure everyone in the room tonight also learned from your insights. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for committing to the growth of the Crossfields part of it.
Thank you.
There's just a small token of a gift. We tried to avoid Barossa wine, which is what you could probably get it.
Thank you very much, Kat. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
It is still wine time, but it's also time to wind up.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Before everyone leaves out where Brewery was, please.
Around